Kia ora koutou. No trades today. I stuck to the plan and stayed out of the market. There just wasn't anything that met my setup or my strategy, and that's just part of the game. So let's have a quick look at what moved today. So CYN was the main mover on the day today. Actually VOR was the leading gainer on the day when I got up. I got up late again and I was there just around 7 a.m. Usually I try to get up before about 6:30, but VOR had already pushed up. And the problem with VOR was that it was a really high float, over 70 million share float. So that was sort of off the list to trade anyway. And it didn't move very far either. I think it moved about maybe 20 cents a share. So didn't trade that, didn't like that stock at all. And then CYN popped up at around here just after 7. So I did take some paper trades on it. It was a little expensive for me to trade. And I kind of traded it with the shares I could afford in my live account just to see if I did trade it in my live account, if I could actually be profitable. So it was kind of a test, really, because I've been staying away from stocks sort of over $5. That's sort of my limit at the moment with the size of the account that I've got. But I tested this on CYN, popped up here, took an entry as it pulled below VWAP here around 8.19, well at VWAP really, 8.19. It pulled back a little bit further. I didn't stop out because of the range on this stock. I thought that was still within the limit, and also having only 13 shares, it dropping down to 20-30 cents wasn't much of a loss anyway. And held that from 8.19 to up here around 8.63. So hit some resistance here on this candle. I sold on that candle 8.63, and that was a good decent trade there. Around 40 cents a share. So that was good. Not a lot of profit with 13 shares, obviously, but that's around $5 profit on that one there. And then, of course, it ripped up to 982, and I missed the re-entry here off the VWAP as it pulled back and retested. That should have been my next entry at this level here for the push higher. So I missed that. Then it pulled back, and I took an entry on the pullback here at 938. So a little bit high on that entry. 938 is around here, around the base of that first pullback, first re-candle. Should have waited for it to come back down close to the 9 EMA to take an entry around $9. That was okay, held that, and then it ripped up to 10.60, and I got out around 10.18. So didn't quite get a great fill on that one. Sold on the bid, but 10.18, that was pretty good. So that was probably my best trade of the morning, I think, was that one there, getting almost $1 a share on that trade. Then I took the pullback again. This wasn't a very good trade at all. I didn't stop out at all. Got in here at about just over $10, $10.11. Once again, not being patient, not letting it pull back to the 9 EMA, taking it too early. And, if I'd been more patient, maybe I wouldn't have taken an entry here, or at least if I did take an entry here, it still might have been within my stop loss limit when it pulled back to 9.30. Eventually pushed again and went up to 10. I got out at 10.44. I went to a high of 10.60 on that candle. Not sure why I sold there. Can't remember why I got out early at 10:44. Maybe it was because it was coming up to this level here and I wasn't sure if it was going to break, so I took my exit there at 10:44. But once again, not a bad trade there, about 30 cents a share. And then up here, I missed this entry off the 9 EMA down here again. It pushed up and I took an entry here on this micro pullback around 11.62, looking for it to push over and make a new high and push to 12. I was expecting it to push to 12. It pushed to 11.99 and I was looking at taking profit as it broke through 12. But it didn't. It pulled back and I took it off the table here. No, I didn't. Here. At 11.24. 11.24, yep. So, yeah, took a loss on that trade and then took another loss on this trade here and at 11.16, looking for it to push up. Didn't take the profit here at 11.65, which is where I should have taken it. And then it pulled back and I ended up taking a loss at 10.94 down here. So only a couple of small losses, but overall I was profitable on those trades on CYN. Yeah, but this thing actually went further. After CYN, I watched ASTI for a little bit as well, but then I shut it down early and went to bed. But this thing pushed all the way up here, all the way through pre-market, stayed pretty solid and then pushed near the end of pre-market up to a high of 16.80, and then at the open, looks like it went into a couple of halts, ended up over $20, then a big pullback, but still not coming down to VWAP, you know, holding and pushing back up through the 20 EMA and the 9 EMA, and eventually getting to a high of 41.50. So really strong move on that stock today, which is cool to see. But didn't hold that level, has since reversed and is now trading around $13, $14. So it's given most of that move back. ASTI, I thought about trading this live, but soon gave up that idea pretty quick. It pushed up here from 117 up to 527, and you know, pull back here, was kind of holding around here, but yeah, I wasn't too sure about it when it pulled back. It held this level here above the 9 EMA, pushed up, but there were a lot of big sellers on the level 2 on the ask on this, and it just seemed to have a lot of selling pressure holding it down, and I just didn't want to take a live trade on it. Really, you know, if I was going to take a trade, it should have been early on here, as it dipped to, you know, 316, pushed back to, you know, 450 or something like that. But I missed that trade, and then I thought about taking a paper trade on it here at 412, but you know, it didn't really push very well, so I ended up taking a loss on that getting out at 322 when it started dipping down. Should have really taken it off the table a lot earlier because I'd been in that trade way too long, especially when it pushed up to 438. I should have just taken it there. But it was only a paper trade, so yeah. But it didn't look very good for a live trade, so I didn't take it there. And then it rolled over, and that was pretty much it for ASTI. So that was pretty much it for the morning. I've still got to do the review of my challenge. I haven't actually finished doing that yet, looking through my stats and that, so I'll do that and probably do a video next week, include that with my monthly wrap up. I've learned some of the best trades I make are the ones I don't take. Staying out of the market when nothing looks right is just as important It's executing when it does. Even on quiet days, discipline matters. So that's it for day 80. No trades, no drama. I'll be back again at it tomorrow, looking for clean setups that fit my criteria. Make sure to follow along to see how the week plays out. I will see you then. Hei au popo.